Hello everyone, this is Dr. Afshan Hashmi, live from a bookstore in Rockville, Maryland, USA, and friends. Today I am talking about behind the scenes, of my two radio shows, one on W4WN Radio and Talk 4 TV, and the other one is on Hollywood Radio and Talk 4 TV. And friends, I just wanted to remind you that I have two books. Let me correct this. So, uh, I was talking about I have my two books. The first one is the outbreak. This first one is the modern world mentality, new strategies to succeed in India and the global marketplace, and the second one is the outbreak of a monstrous infection. Having said that, friends, today I'll be preparing behind the scenes that what I will be doing about it. So here it is. The first book is this one, Cook, Eat, Repeat by Nigella Lawson. So my question is, are there two, three Nigella Lawson? Because the one book I had, a cookbook of Nigella Lawson, this is not Nigella Lawson, which I remember. Okay, so having said that, friends, here is the book. Maybe there are two Nigella Lawsons, who are writing the cookbook, and I'm confused about it. So let's read a little bit about it. Cook, Eat, Repeat. Cook, Eat, Repeat is a delicious and delightful combination of recipes intertwined with narrative essays about food, all written in Nigella's engaging and insightful prose. Whether asking what is a recipe or declaring dead to the guilty pleasure, Nigella's wisdom about food and lives comes to the fore with tasty new recipes and readers will want to return to again and again. The recipe I like Nigella Lawson books, but I'm very surprised that the one I know is not this one. The recipes I write come from my life, my home, says Nigella, and in this book she shares the rhythms and rituals of her kitchen through over 150 new recipes that make the most of her favorite ingredients. The second book is the trusted kitchen classic for a new generation of joy of cooking. This book garnered there is lot of attention this book was throwing on when it was put on the bookstore. So I thought, let me read a little bit and see what it is. Irma S. Rombian, Marian Rombian Becker, Ethan Becker, John Becker, and Megan Scott. The Trusted Kitchen Classic Joy for a New Generation of Joy. Streamlined cooking. When Irma first wrote and published The Joy of Cooking in 1931, she was not known for her skills in the kitchen. Irma was a socialite, so it is kind of a history, I guess. She valued being the life of the party, not being struck in the kitchen. After the stock market crash of 1929 and her husband's death in 1930, Irma found herself in reduced circumstances and with a sudden need to figure out a livelihood. When she chose cookbook author as profession, there were more than a few raised eyebrows. So this is the book, and I will read this book and see if I can comprehend what it is in it, and if I can present it in my show, and see how much preparation goes on behind the scene for this show. The third cookbook which attracted my attention was Alton Brown's, author of New York Times best-selling Good Eats series, Good Eats: The Final Years. Introduction. When we stopped production the first time on Goodreads in 2011, I knew it wasn't gone for good. The sock puppets went into cold storage along with those silly bongos and terrible shirts. Bessie, the fiberglass cow, at one time the most expensive prop we had ever brought, went on the road with me as I launched a couple of live culinary variety tours. Television wise, I moved on to make 200 episodes of a show called Cutthroat Kitchen, and I wrote a cookbook called Everyday Cook. So this is like a little bit about the introduction, and let's see. The Essential New York Times Cookbook, lovingly revised and exceedingly cookable by Amanda Hesser, the recipes of record. What just happened? A lot. In 2019, I began work on a 10th anniversary edition of this book, which we plan to publish in September 2020. Since the first edition came out in 2010, a whole bunch of changes had taken place in the world and at the Times. So I was working on the update that would cover them rapid evolution in food and recipe writing. The new edition would still be a retrospective of food in the Times since the 1850s, but it would have a significant focus on recent content. And it is by Amanda Hesser, is co-founder and CEO of Food 52, as well as a former New York Times food editor and the author of several award-winning books, including Cooking for Me Latte. She lives in Brooklyn with her family. So let me navigate this book, and then I will decide whether I should present it in my thing or not. But all the authors listening, if you want me to present this book, also, you can contact me at Afshan at drafshanhashmi.com, and let's have a conversation that if you want these books to be present in my radio and TV shows. And this show is also syndicated worldwide to 300 million listeners. So just imagine how your content will be promoted to 300 million listeners worldwide. Having said that, friends, here is the book. So all those authors whose books are presented here, you can contact me at Afshan at drafshanhashmi.com. So now let's talk about Harper's permanent pandemic. I haven't seen this. Here it is, and here it is. I haven't seen this journal, and let's see what they say about the pandemic. Permanent pandemic. Will COVID controls keep controlling us? By Justin E.H. Smith. So this is the article I'm interested to read from here, and let's see what this says. In January 2022, I came down with mild symptoms of something or other. I was already triple vaxxed with a French vaccine passport on my iPhone to prove it, and like a true pioneer, I had already suffered through a bout of COVID 19 long before in March 2020. So I was basically unworried, but still, I made an appointment for a PCR test in order to comply with my workplace protocols and to ease the concerns of my spouse. The soonest slot I could find was at the Pharmacie de Stangrad in the 19th arrondissement. It stands just across the Boche Stangrad on the Avenue de Flanders. I don't know French, so I don't know how to pronounce this. And this is the word. Inside the pharmacy, an older Muslim woman was nearly in tears. She couldn't figure out how to complete on her phone and the form required to receive the test. So, this is an article, I would love to present this article and read more about it in my show. Let's see what I have to do. Bethesda, local bakery, a guided tour. It's in the Bethesda magazine, and I love to read Bethesda magazine. So this is Bethesda magazine, and I love to read this, and I will read later on and see if there is something which I can present in my shows. Now comes the very very interesting article upon the economist. Thinking the unthinkable. So this is a very very good article. So, friends, I will be reading about this article, A New Era, Why the War in Ukraine Makes Nuclear Conflict More Likely. Thinking the Unthinkable. And then there is this favorite magazine, Hello. I have been reading this magazine, and this magazine inspires me. And there is one edition of Hello India. Whenever I go to India, that is the first thing I buy, and I have it on my. I have the subscription of that, and this is from Mel B to MBE. Melanie Brown tells of being honored at Buckingham Palace. Here it is. So if I like an article from here, I might present that article in my forthcoming radio show on W4WN radio and Talk 4 TV. And my 4 TV shows have a reach of 300 million listeners worldwide. So if you can give me sponsorship, if you want these shows to continue, and this is my private podcast and private TV show, which also is syndicated to the same place where my other shows, my other two W4WN Radio and Talk 4 TV, and the other one Hollywood Radio comes. And friends, now I will sign off from this episode and see you in next episode of my radio and TV show. And this will go in my doco series, and you can see it on 100 different platforms, including Amazon Music, and except Netflix, they are everywhere. Having said that, friends, now my second book, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, I want a movie to be made. So, all those Hollywood, Bollywood, Netflix producers and directors, who are listening, please contact me at Afshan at drafshanhashmi.com. And some of you have asked about the screen play of the movie, and I am writing that screenplay, and once it is ready, then I will start distributing it. But I want a very good price to sell the licensing rights, and I would not budge in selling it in cheap price. Having said that, friends, cheers and bye bye.